I once made a video in which I talked about how modern music is actually like sort of poisoning our brain and making us more and more stupid, but I think I've gathered even more information on that now and can even cause depression, and it is the reason why a lot of people nowadays are so depressed and so stuck in that one self-identity where they just kind of hate themselves. And these are the video chapters for today. Let's start with something that affects us on a very spiritual level and might even be the least terrible factor about all of this, but still is very important and can cause a lot of harm. It's the negative frequencies that are in mainstream music. So most mainstream music nowadays, whether it's Doechii, Taylor Swift, Travis Scott, or Kanye West, any of those artists, whoever it is set to a frequency of 440 hertz usually. And this frequency of 440 hertz is causing a lot of damage to our brain. There have once even been studies conducted where they talked about the impact that this frequency had on us. So essentially when you're creating music, you can attune it to a certain frequency, and then if you put it to 440 hertz frequency, it is something that's very connected with your lower three chakras. So it's everything about survival, sex, and food, and all those kind of things. They're not really keeping you free and making you love yourself and, you know, live a happy lifestyle, but just keeping you addicted to this music and the things that this music actually talks about. Because if we be honest for real right now, that music doesn't really talk about great things usually. It's always sex, money, or love. And like, of course, those are regular things, but the way that they're packaged in mainstream music, especially with artists like The Weeknd, can be really toxic. And if you think about the lyrics that he says, I'm going to show you guys some. It's actually kind of insane. And you know something really funny? Once I was at a cute cafe or a restaurant in Germany, and they were literally playing The Weeknd at like 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Like, chill, it's too early for this type of shit. But whatever, let's keep going. There are other frequencies though that are really great for us. I don't know if you've ever heard about a sound bath or anything that is a meditation with sounds. So sounds can be great ways to heal our body, to put it into a comfortable state, and also do something good for our nervous system. A frequency that for our ears sounds pretty much the same as 432 hertz, but the music industry, for some whatever reason, chose the one that is actually addictive and the one that actually makes us want even more and more of that kind of music. 432 megahertz, for example, could increase focus, mental clarity, and just put your nervous system into a very clear and chill peace of mind. There's not such a thing as a bad frequency or a good frequency. Frequency just simply is, but it's the way that it is made and packaged all throughout of these songs that impacts us in such a way. There's even a video of Kanye West talking about the frequency of 808 and its damages.
The 808 exists in the lowest chakra of your body. The majority of content that's related to the 808 is killer or sexual content. The original 808s was even off pitch. So that meant it's an actual sound in the track that you don't realize is there that is fucking up your entire frequency.
So if you always expose yourself to these kind of frequencies, your body and your nervous system in general, they're just going to be in a fight or flight mode constantly, and they don't really think that everything is chill. I mean, if you think about pop music, the beats, they're very fast paced and they make you feel anxious in a way, although that's not that bad if it's not like every day. However, there's a different negative aspect of mainstream music that is even worse than just those frequencies, and those are the negative affirmations in the songs. I don't know if it's just me, but I believe that there comes a certain point when you mature and you go older that you start to realize, what are you actually listening to? What are these lyrics that I'm constantly exposing myself to, and what do these people actually say? If you listen to mainstream music, you're gonna realize at some point that sometimes they're just saying straight up crazy ass insane shit. Sorry for the language. So essentially what these people do, they're very smart by the way, is they get certain lyrics that are gonna try to get people to relate to them. So someone like Taylor Swift, for example, she's a billionaire and she would never write about being a billionaire, but she writes about things that 13-year-old girls can actually relate to when they're going through some kind of high school heartbreak. And although those are not things that she can in any way relate to, she packages that music and those lyrics in such sad ways that anyone basically could relate to that and then really feel into that and get into those emotions. Speaking of Taylor Swift, last year she came out with that album Tortured Poets Apartment, which I think is actually quite a great album music-wise. But in that album, you could really just see how those lyrics and all these things that she was talking about were quite negative and were just getting people to really be even more and more depressed. There was even a line in that song called I Can Do It With a Broken Heart where she said, I'm so depressed, I act like it's my birthday. And now imagine going into a mirror every day and talking to yourself and saying, I'm so depressed, I hate myself, my life is shitty, everything is shitty, people are treating me very shitty, I'm a victim, and all of these things. What would happen? You would believe them. You would literally believe them, and your subconscious mind would just simply adapt to that. And it's the exact same way when you're listening to that kind of music. It might get to a point where it's just way too much and you're overexposing yourself to these negative lyrics. So you guys, I was just editing the video and I felt like I wanted to add something. So there's this new song that is the perfect example of this. It's called Anxiety by Doechii, and it's currently really trendy on TikTok. It's the one that goes like, it's my anxiety, da 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 da, you know? And you probably know it if you look up Anxiety Doechii on TikTok, and it's from that new woman. I think it has such low vibes, and this song makes me quite uncomfortable, and this song is the perfect example of a song with low vibrations and also really bad affirmations. And the reason why this is so attractive for us humans is when we're going through a little sad boy, sad girl era, we might get to that music and relate to it because we then feel less alone. If you ever have gone through a depressed episode, think about the music you listened through that episode. You probably did not listen to the happiest and fulfilling music. You listened to music that was related to your current mental state. The people who make this kind of music, they know that. That's what they use. They use your depression and your negative feelings, so you listen to this more and more, and then you really get into this emotion, and it gets even harder to get out of that depression or out of those negative sad feelings or breakup feelings or whatever. And you can't really move on about a person or whatever if you always think about them when listening to a song. Which is kind of crazy, right? You think it's just a song on the radio, who cares? But it's actually just way deeper. And another perfect example of this is this viral song from Steve Lacy. It's called Dark Red. He says that something bad is about to happen to him. And if you always say that to yourself, something bad is about to happen to me, guess what the universe is going to show you? Something bad, because something bad is going to happen to you. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I do not make the rules. I'm just one telling you about it, and it's your choice what you do with it, of course. And what I've noticed myself as I grew more spiritually and I just got way more confident and I really love myself is that I can't even relate to these things anymore. When songs talk about something really bad and dark, it's just very not attractive to me anymore. I do not care about it. Whenever I listen to a song and it's just very gross and you get these weird lyrics, it just gives me weird and demonic vibes, and it simply does not resonate with me anymore. So once you really just evolve as a person, you grow more mature and you become more of yourself, that music isn't going to be very attractive anyway. So it's not something very hard that you have to get rid of. So be cautious with the songs that you listen to and the affirmations that they say. It's of course totally fine to listen to a sad song sometimes. What I'm just saying is do not overdo it, because you might get into that feeling and then it's going to be really hard to crawl out of that hole. Now I would like to talk about the thing that actually causes depression in music, and that is the distraction, the constant distraction that comes from this. I mean, think about it. When you're at the gym, what do? You listen to music. When you're going to school or to work, what do? You listen to music. Whenever you're going for a walk, what do you do mostly? You listen to music. And what this leads to essentially is that you never have a phase where you're just alone with your thoughts. I mean, of course, you can think a little bit while listening to music, but in general, you're never really alone with your thoughts. We as humans, we have certain events happening in our lives, certain things that always happen, and we need to process them. We have natural emotions that we need to feel. Our bodies, they need to feel emotions. And if we neglect these emotions and we suppress them by constantly being distracted through social media and through music, our body's just going to store them in a crazy way. And guess what that leads to? Depression. And let me explain how these two things actually correlate to one another. So if you can't really feel the feelings that you need to feel, you're going to get into a very numb state. So your body is going to be overwhelmed by those feelings. For example, when you're lying in bed without your phone, without anything, and the entire day you were just listening to music or scrolling on TikTok or at work or in school, and then you're just gonna be, oh my god, I couldn't have thought about anything today, and all of these thoughts and all of the overthinking is gonna come up, and that leads to depression because your body wants to naturally feel emotions that it needs to feel, but it can't because of those distractions. So then when they do come up, and they will come up essentially, it's going to get depressed because that is just way too much, and it is a natural coping mechanism for your body to feel this numb feeling, to feel this feeling of not feeling anything. Is this even real? Am I even alive? Like, I noticed that in myself whenever I was taking a shower or just lying in bed about to fall asleep. I couldn't even fall asleep. I was struggling under some insomnia. It took me like an hour or half an hour to go to sleep because I always had these thoughts, all these feelings that I tried to process, that I tried to think about, but it didn't really work because I had no time to think during the day. So you need to really focus on actually doing something with your emotions and the things that happen. You can turn them into art, you can journal about them, you can do anything. Get creative and use your creativity and do not always listen to music. Do not get me wrong. You can listen to mainstream music, you can listen to whatever kind of music you like, that's all up to you. I even listen to mainstream music myself, like that is totally fine. What I'm trying to say is that it's important to be mindful of what you're listening to, so listen to artists that actually have high vibrational frequencies in them. Some artists like Kali Uchis or Jhené Aiko or Sade or any other artist that you just feel connected to in a way that you feel like their music is actually good for you. I mean, think about Lady Gaga. Do you think her demonic ass music is actually good for you? Do you think that music makes you feel better, makes you feel happier? No. It's just something with very addictive tunes, which is also the reason why it's constantly in your head and you repeat these negative affirmations out loud and out loud. So if you want to use frequencies and music for your advantage, I would highly suggest that you use it whenever you actually are feeling well and you want to just do something to elevate your mood, you want to feel well, you want to do something creative, and then you can listen to it in the background to feel better. I love listening to music. Everybody loves listening to music. That is human and that is normal. So do not suppress this natural part of yourself that wants to listen to music. But whenever there is a period when you're going for a walk or going to school or you're trying to just think between things, then just simply think and sit through it without music and without this constant distraction and the dopamine that you get that then makes you addicted to this music. And that music is really not attractive to me anymore because it simply does not resonate. So think about music that resonates with you when you're feeling good, and then listen to that and use it as an ascension tool. You can use it to manifest. You can use music with high vibrational frequencies and with good affirmations. Even Ariana Grande or any other kind of artist that you like listening to, or Travis Scott or whatever, if you pick certain songs that they have with not so negative affirmations and not these crazy lyrics, you're gonna feel way, way better. Another way that doesn't really count as music though to use frequencies for your advantage is listening to sound baths or getting a meditative sound bath bowl. That is so amazing. I actually want to get one really soon because I think that sound baths are so lovely. Whenever I do yoga, I just get that, and this lovely frequency just makes my parasympathetic nervous system feel so relaxed and chill and absolutely regulated. So my message for today is to be mindful with the music that you listen to. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment, tell me what you think about this video, and I love you all so much. See you in my next video.